From 2011 to 2016, Basetsu Margaret published a series written by Kazune Kawahara and drawn by Aruko. It was your typical shoujo light-hearted high school rom-com, but with one major twist: the main character. Unlike other shoujos where the main character is usually a girl or a very handsome boy, this series' protagonist is Takeo Goda, and he's built like a gorilla. No, seriously, look at this absolute unit. He's never had much luck with the ladies, partly because of his appearance and partly because his childhood friend, Makoto Sunakawa, is your typical ikemen for this kind of series. The girls always prefer Sunakawa over Takeo, but all that changes after a fateful encounter with Rinko Yamato. Takeo saves her from Chikan, and due to his history with girls, leaves him oblivious to Rinko. What follows is a gentle, very PG high school romance story that will either leave you with the warm fuzzies or diabetes. And honestly, I really enjoyed this series. As did many others apparently, because the manga is sitting above an 8, and the anime is sitting just below an 8. Airing in 2015, this series isn't one of those weird ones where something supernatural is at play. It's completely vanilla. Normal world, normal scenarios. And to that effect, most of what happens is easily explainable as it can happen in the real world. The only parts that are just blatantly unrealistic is the scene where Takeo catches a falling I-beam and when he jumps from a burning building. 3rd floor, I think. But both are used to emphasize Takeo's abnormally strong body and the intention of his character. The rest of the story is so real world, there are probably people who watched it and have experienced something similar. As far as chick flick anime goes, this one has a lot more appeal to a male audience with Takeo. He's just serious enough to be the hero of the story, but also just silly enough to be the comic relief himself. And though the main plot of the story is the relationship between Takeo and Ringo, they take a back seat once in a while as other characters' stories play out. The manga runs 13 volumes at 52 chapters. The anime runs 24 episodes at 22 minutes, and it was animated by Madhouse, which is kind of funny considering all of the other absolutely wild series that Madhouse has produced. We're talking One Punch Man and Overlord, No Game No Life, Irregular at Magic High School, Hunter x Hunter, High School of the Dead, Black Lagoon, Claymore. You get the idea. Tucked away in a filmography of ultra-violence and absolutely wild stories is this little sickeningly sweet rom-com sitcom thing about a big guy and his beloved tiny girl. And even funnier is Ore Monogatari also got a live-action movie that runs an hour 45. Its plot really only covers the story of Takeo and Rinko getting together, so there's a lot more to the anime than there is the live-action movie. But shit, it got a live-action movie. You even get a pretty uniform experience across all 3 mediums. And while the question isn't what kind of story are you getting from each, it's more how much of the story you're getting from each. But it just goes to show how well the series was handled for its time. And it was so popular that it got a 1-shot collab with Blue Spring Ride and a 2-chapter collab with Nesikoi. The visual design does have this strange juxtaposition with how very not shoujo Takeo is. But the style remains consistent with an abundant use of pastels to keep this soft feeling to the scenes. Though I guess you should expect that from Madhouse, they consistently do good work. And you probably shouldn't go looking for some shocking, deep characters from the story. The deepest they get is the Goda family, and they're still just normal, even if they're a little strange. With Takeo playing the good-natured oaf, who's oblivious to the subtle affections as part of his character. It's either misunderstanding a girl's intentions or believing Rinko likes Makoto, or sometimes just outright ignorant to them as he is with Ai and Maria. Makoto is your stereotypical silent hunk. He's quite boring, and the tsukomi to Takeo's bokeh. Half the reason he's even friends with Takeo is because of how entertaining Takeo is to him. Rinko is your baby seal character. She's just about as innocent and pure as Takeo, which adds to his bokeh act in a way. And for clarity, what I'm talking about is manzai. a traditional style of Japanese comedy compared to a double act. If you've seen Abbott and Costello, it's something like that. Tsukomi is the straight man, and Bokeh is the funny man. I said it earlier and I'll say it again for emphasis, this series is a romantic sitcom, but it's better written and not as heavy as what you would see from Western TV like Boy Meets World, Saved by the Bell, Fresh Prince, etc. Though now that I'm thinking about it, it reminds me of Home Improvement. I can't say the two are alike in any way, like I'm certain this series has much more in common with Boy Meets World than Home Improvement, but I didn't really like Boy Meets World, and I really enjoyed Home Improvement. If you like sitcoms, rom-coms, slice of life, completely devoid of anything supernatural or weird, you'll like Ore Monogatari. If you want to watch something that won't emotionally and mentally tire you out, you'll like this series. If you want a story that's believable and very well could happen to a real person, mostly, you'll like this series. With 24 episodes, there's plenty to watch and plenty of story to take in. It's a normal anime about normal events for normal people. Except Takeo Goda. That man's a beast. I am the NBT. This has been the Noble Weeaboo. Like or don't, sub or don't. Ore Monogatari is easy on the mind, easy on the heart, and just long enough to have several stories to enjoy. If that's what you're looking for, this one's for you. Thank you for watching.